In the modern era of Batman, there's really only been two love interests that have any real emotion: Talia al Ghul and Catwoman, with the latter being the clear frontrunner. I mean, that hasn't stopped y'all in the comments from shipping him with pretty much any DC character he's ever interacted with. But if you're a canon hardliner, for the longest time, it's been Catwoman Talia or nothing. That is, until now. In the first issue of Batman Volume 4, penned by Matt Fraction, we're introduced to Anika Anna Zeller. She's a doctor at Arkham Towers, a modern facility created to shed Gotham of the notorious legacy of Arkham Asylum. After Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, breaks out of the facility, Batman heads over there to get an update from Dr. Zeller. Batman immediately clocks her for referring to him as Waylon Jones still, stating that Waylon is long gone and it's just Killer Croc that's left. She pushes back though. She says that Waylon may be capable of great violence, but he's also capable of great tenderness. And right now he's afraid, and fear prevents us from having a say in how our minds respond to the chaos of trauma. Batman kind of brushes this off, but before he leaves, he does refer to Croc as her patient, signaling that maybe she's already starting to influence him a little. This is the start of what some people may refer to as his soft boy era. It makes complete sense that this new direction of Batman is less attached to the more femme fatale, if you will, love interests of Batman's past. Both Talia and Selina are not exactly the most positive role models. Talia is literally an assassin. And while the nature of Catwoman's villainy is more nuanced than someone like Talia, her introduction as a thief Batman played cat and mouse with was the building block of their romantic tension. For Dr. Zeller, it's different. From the beginning, she's seen as a shining ray of light that slowly brightens the darkness in Batman's soul. At the end of this very first issue, instead of fighting Killer Croc, he actually takes her words to heart. He sits down and actually has a conversation with Waylon Jones, trying to understand his perspective. When she eventually arrives to take him back to Arkham Towers, she's holding a toy dinosaur. Killer Croc ends up giving it to Batman and he keeps it as a souvenir. In issue 3, Bruce overhears Dr. Zeller having a televised debate with Hugo Strange. She's introducing a prototype device called the Crowd of Storms that calms overstimulated regions and excites understimulated ones in the brains of users. The aim of this device is giving control back to the patients that have lost it due to electrical dysfunction. Unsurprisingly, Hugo Strange pushes back on the legitimacy of such a device and criticizes her for apparently taking money from Wayne Enterprises. She clears up that her lab received a grant from the Wayne family endowment that allowed them to make the prototype, and that the Wayne Enterprise has no oversight or input in her work at all. Upon hearing the word human trials, Strange fully crashes out, knocking over his coffee and yelling about how if people like her had her way, Van Gogh would have never painted Starry Night. She claps back by saying maybe he would have painted 100 Starry Nights, instead of dying in agony at the young age of 37. This line in particular has him smiling so hard, he gets kicked in the mouth during a training session with Damien. Later on in a board meeting, Bruce shuts down any attempt to stop the money going to Dr. Zeller's research. They're worried about it not being a profit-viable venture, but Bruce says that profit isn't the only thing that makes a venture viable, before telling them to get the hell out. But issue 4 is when it actually starts getting spicy. Bruce makes a stop at the Wayne Experimental Sciences building to have a chat with Dr. Zeller. She has this whole hologram treadmill workflow thing going on, so she doesn't even see who walks into the room. She tells him to talk to Dr. Batman. Naturally, he has no clue what she's talking about. She points to a stuffed bat that engineering dubbed Dr. Batman. Everyone's got to go through it to get to her. She explains that most of the time solutions present themselves while explaining it to the stuffed bat, and that if she stopped to entertain every single question, her entire flow would be shot. So Batman walks up to Dr. Batman and asks him about titanographene. Before he can even finish his thought, Dr. Zeller interjects. She concludes that it's indeed an expensive slog with little profit beyond helping the mentally ill. That if she ever gets into a room with Bruce Wayne to plead her case, she'll know just how much of a tough sell this project actually is. And then a scene straight out of your favorite rom-com ensues. It really is his first time in the building, so he says. The Riddler broke in the night before, so he decided now would be as perfect a time as ever to pop in. She jokes that if it's all it took to get a visit from Mr. Wayne, she would have broken in herself a year ago. He tells her to call him Bruce, and that he'll pick her up tomorrow at 7 to hear all about her project. It immediately dawns on her that it sounds like a date, and her colleagues even tease her about this. It's still early days, and who knows? This relationship could end up tragically in a dumpster fire. But, for now at least, it seems like a wholesome and healing development. And besides the overall non toxic nature of this budding romance, the dynamic between Bruce Wayne and Batman here is a lot more nuanced. With Talia and Catwoman, their interaction with Bruce is primarily through the lens of his persona as Batman. Yes, they know he's Bruce Wayne, but his life as Bruce Wayne is pretty much in the backseat when he's with them. With Dr. Zeller, not only is Bruce Wayne in the picture, his approval is directly tied to keeping this project up and running. And though he's not technically her boss, the fact that his foundation's money can make or break her life's work throws a wrench into their potential relationship. And that's not even the most interesting part about their dynamic. It's the fact that the reason he feels such a strong connection to her and her work is because of Batman, not Bruce Wayne. The very people she's striving to help are the same people he dangles off buildings every night. And as we saw at the end of issue 1, her words are already starting to have an effect on Batman's actions, not just Bruce Wayne's. Because at the end of the day, Batman's mental state is a lot closer in proximity to many of the villains he fights than he cares to admit. So if you're as curious as me about where this is all heading, make sure to stay tuned to Batman Volume 4. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.